Field from the 48, he'll go play action. And he'll lob a screen to Travion Williams. Catch and run Williams. Across the 25 and a hurdle down to the 23. It's like Michael Neese is down behind the play.
Yeah, maybe got rolled up on a little bit there. Anytime offensive lineman you get out in space, you got to be careful of those bodies flying from your left, from the right, from behind you. Great play call, but take a look at Neese here. Gets a block downfield and just kind of collides a little bit.
It's Quantrez Knight, senior.
Yeah. Look at the play action pass, though. Everybody's thinking run. Everybody's thinking pass. Okay, we got to drop. Get the offensive line out in space. Nice job getting some positive yards.
Neese will come off the field under his own power, and we'll step aside. At center, and we have movement.
False start on the offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
That is the way it goes in preseason football, right? You
a lot of times, unfortunately, you don't want it to. I mean, you're just coming off a nice play there, good gain on first down, and boy, turn that mic off.
Yeah, I liked it more when his mic didn't work.
Yeah, 1st and 10. Now you go to 1st and 15.
It's a handoff for Williams, who just had that big hit off the screen. It'll be a gain of 4, and second down coming up for the Lions. This offense, you know, top 5 offense last year in the NFL, scoring offense, total offense as well. Drew Petzing takes over as the offensive coordinator, and by all accounts, as you and Chris were talking about, the relationship with Jared Goff is one that is going to thrive on creativity of pushing each other.
Yeah, challenging each other, right? And nice delivery there from Josh Dobbs, getting the ball out of his hands quick.
Lucky Jackson with the catch. Third down on the way.
But yes, that relationship is so important. You have to be on the same page. You have to be in unison. You can't have a quarterback in the huddle where he hears a play call and, you know, why we're calling this. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to have these guys. You have to have these guys on the same page. It sounds like all accounts so far, Drew Petzing and Jared Goff, the way that they've been communicating, the way they've been challenging each other. Like we said, you might have a good play. How can we make it better?
Lions are in the Heinz red zone. Josh Dobbs in at quarterback for this drive. Cunningham in motion. Dobbs scanning, firing, got it. First down. Lucky Jackson to the 10. First and goal, Lions.
Look at Josh Dobbs, the protection first and foremost. Miles Frazier moving out to left guard, get some help from Mason Miller coming in to seal that, open up the throwing lane, and Josh Dobbs, you could tell that was about his 3rd or 4th read that play. Going to the backside, didn't like what he saw, find somebody open, 3rd down. You can keep the sticks moving, especially down here in the red zone. That's the difference in these games, whether you have to settle for a field goal or try here to put yourself in a position to score a touchdown.
He's changing the play here, down to 6 on the play clock, and it is a run. Travion Williams crashing through for half of it. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now this is where the focus on the offensive line becomes sharper.
Limited space down here in the red zone, especially when you get to that 5-yard line. You have to be able to run the football. You have to. There's just so many limited options in what you can do in the passing game or the play action game. Everything is just so compacted together. So I wouldn't be surprised here to see maybe another read option. If Josh Dobbs likes something on the backside, maybe see him use his legs again to try to get in this end zone. Dan Campbell didn't like the formation, calling a timeout. Yeah, you can tell right away.
Detroit. This is their first timeout of the half.
Campbell saw the.
This is where we live. Where a major breakthrough meets the morning coffee. Where a game-changing idea hits the game-winning shot. Where round-the-clock research assures more time away. Where we drive, explore, and discover. Where devoted fans roar and good times roll. Where our heart, soul, and science come to life. This is what we live for. Because this is where we live.
Good morning.
We are Henry.
So out of the timeout, it is 2nd and goal for the Lions from the 5. Dobbs out of the gun. Right ahead, Travion Williams looking for that front door, and he is down maybe a yard short. Do it again, right?
Yeah, why not? And anytime you have a threat of Josh Dobbs, I know he doesn't keep this football, but it slows down the backside of that defense. I'm not a big fan normally of running the ball out of shotgun, especially when you're in this part of the field or 3rd and short or 4th and short, unless you have a quarterback that has a threat to pull it. Josh Dobbs already busted off the 50-yard touchdown, so with him in shotgun, he's got a threat to pull. It's going to keep that defense honest on the backside.
Williams again. This time he is in. Touchdown Lions. He was not going to be denied.
Right back to it. Little read option. 56. See how it slows him down on the backside, though. It doesn't allow him to collapse down the line. And really nice job by the interior of that offensive line. Look at the double teams, the pad level. You know that defense is going to be coming, especially when it comes to the secondary and the linebackers. They're going to be coming downhill, meeting you fast. Keep those pad level down. Keep the feet churning. You always tell offensive linemen, if you score, if you end up with your feet in the end zone, most times the running back's going to end up with his feet in the end zone too.
That's
Good
what
6
happened.
points.
Yeah, that's what happened with Colby Sorsdahl on that play. And Dan Campbell, again, you said it, TJ. He didn't like the formation or the call, whatever it was. What came out of that timeout was 2 rugged runs straight up the middle.
Attitude plays. That's what that was. And sometimes you don't necessarily have to call timeout because you don't like your own form.
Do whatever I needed to do. And it helped a lot with my mental and me physically. And now I feel back to who I was. So it feels good.
And it's your 6th season with the Lions, and you've become more of a vocal leader, especially with the rookies. Why was this such a point of emphasis for you?
Well, I feel like I'm one of the older guys now, and that's what helped me out. I'm not the most vocal guy, but people talking to me and telling me what I should be or should not be doing helped a lot, rather than somebody showing by example, because you can show anything, but it might not be the right example. So I started using my voice a little bit more, too, and I just feel like an older guy now. I've never really been one of those, but feels better doing it this way.
Thanks, Aleem.
So thanks to Aleem McNeil for stopping by. Good to have him healthy. Nick Nash, who was a phenomenal college football wide receiver at San Jose State, just hit for 55 from Kaliak Manis down the sideline. And now Washington's at the 20. Katron Allen is driven back. Nowatzki was in there, but also Skylar Gill-Howard is the one who made the play. He has been buzzing all over the tape again.
Yeah, we've mentioned his name a number of times today, not only in the run game, but when it comes to getting some pressure. Even that last 2nd down conversion that we just saw go for that go route 55 yards. Skylar Gill-Howard was in the back. He was in the backfield. He was putting pressure on the quarterback, and that play, he's going to get credit for that tackle. But like you mentioned, the first name, Trevor Nowatzki, was really the reason why that play didn't work. He set the edge on the front side, didn't get driven out, forced everything back to his teammates. But that number 50, man, Skylar Gill-Howard's going to be a name to watch as we get into the end of preseason here.
And you see how loud it's gotten here, and it affects Washington.
That was delay a game.
Delay a game on the offense, 16. 5-yard
I was going to say, during the Aleem
down.
McNeil interview, maybe the best sign there, other than him being back and healthy, was he couldn't hear Patty's first question because it was so loud in here.
You'd be surprised. I mean, look at the crowd. I mean, nobody's overreacting here saying, hey, we're sold out, 75,000 people, but fans love football, man. Everybody's excited to see this team. And going back to Aleem McNeil, if there's 2 guys I'm really excited to watch this year, him being one of the guys on defense, just coming back healthy off that injury. And then you could say the same for offense, I think, with Sam Laporta. I know he's banged up a little bit right now. Doesn't seem to be a long-term concern. But those 2 guys, I think, are really, really primed to have some big years for this team.
Kaliak Manis down the middle. It's Nash again. You saw how much of a loss it is without Sam Laporta last year when you don't have him. It's a hip this time around, but you just become so much more flexible in formations.
Well, especially with what Drew Petzing's specialty is. Look at what Trey McBride and the success that he had in Arizona. And I would argue, look, I know missing Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch in the second half of last year really hurt that defense at that safety spot. I thought losing Sam Laporta and Brock Wright were equally, if not even more important, to kind of where this team started to hit that kind of rut in the season last year.
Kaliak, man, has just got that away, and then Jacoby Jones went through the car wash. He got battered. Trevor Nowatzki was in there as well again, but
didn't get a bunch of catches, but you might be the reason why the other guys are having a ton of success. And also what he does in the run game too is phenomenal.
Drew Stevens' field goal from 32 is good. We'll talk about those skill position guys and what Dan Campbell said relating to the offensive line in our meeting when we come back as the Lions get the ball back. Feel it. You feel the game. It's wild, actually. So you can register at www, as the return goes across the 30.l1ve.com. It's not a broadcast, to be clear. It's like being there. You can take a seat, you can look around. If you've joined in, you're feeling that right now. Altmaier with a handoff on first down to Raheem Blackshear, and it'll be second down and medium. Dan Campbell was talking to us about a guy like Jared Goff and a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs and the talent on the outside. And, you know, he was talking about Gibbs specifically, and he said, this guy can be a career changer for an offensive lineman. I thought it was interesting, the prism that he saw it through, right? For an offensive line that's trying to improve, let these guys be career makers for you.
Yeah,
Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, etc.
And just give them some time to make some plays. That time, not what you're looking for, but yes, as offensive line, I'd be lying to you if I said that, you know, guys like Aaron Rodgers and I got to play with Matthew Stafford for a couple years, even with some good running backs, they make you look better as an offensive line. And that gives you more motivation to where, hey, if I just cover these guys up, there's so much potential to have an explosive play every single time you snap the ball. And I think that obviously with Jahmyr Gibbs, with Jared Goff, with the skills players that are on this offense that we're going to be seeing in a couple weeks when the regular season starts. Somebody moved early. But that just gives you that much more motivation as a big guy up front to, hey, let's just cover my guy up for a couple seconds.
False start on the offense, 71. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
On Gibbs and Goff and Amon-Ra, etc. We're pitch perfect.
2. I would say that. Clever. I knew that. Yeah. I knew you were kind of
No, it wasn't a setup at all. No setup.
Something witty coming at some point. You keep me on my toes, Jay. Wow, geez.
Oh, boy. Here we go again. A lot of movement. Flags everywhere. It's the United Nations.
Come on. Got to lock in, boys.
False start, number 65. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
That's on McLaughlin.
Got to lock in.
You know, when Dan Campbell was talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, though, he said, look, you turn around at the end of the season and you go, he's a generational type of running back.
100% he is. And I think that's why maybe it took a little bit of time to get his contract deal done this training camp, because they knew that there were some other guys that were going to have to sign, but they look at Jahmyr Gibbs as being a clear number 1 running back in the league. And I think he's earned that. And Dan Campbell hasn't been shy about it. He said we're going to count on him as being I can't remember what he said, workhorse, bell cow, whatever you want to call it, running back, which is going to mean a lot of snaps. And just to think he's just going into year 4, man, and all the success he's had already has been so impressive.
3 Pro Bowls, 3 years, little pushing and shoving. Lucky Jackson draws a flag. It's Carlin Biggers on the coverage. Jackson had a step on him, and this is going to be a Lions first down.
Yeah, a little bit too much contact that time.
Pass interference on the defense, number 37. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Trying to create some separation. See a lot there, but, you know, a little hand fighting going on. And anytime you can try to sell a penalty is just as good as if it happened or not. Didn't see a lot. Maybe there was a little bit there before we kind of zoomed in there, but either way, take the free first down.
But that's the type of penalty that gets you a fresh set of downs, and you would in the regular season hand it off to Jahmyr Gibbs, get your 4, 5, 6 yards. I mean, he just changes drives with explosive plays.
The speed that he has is just so incredible. Whether he's getting the ball in the backfield, whether he's lining up at slot receiver, look at the burst that he has, man. It's just so impressive. I think one play I go back to last year that really stood out was that overtime game against the Giants. And boom, he just, okay, we've let them hang around. Give me the ball. Give me right up the middle. Just let me go. And boom, he takes it for the touchdown, ends the game. He's just so explosive and just so fun to watch.
So much home run potential, as this is a way to Dominic Lovett, the second-year man, former 7th-round pick out of Georgia. Under 10 to go. How about this first 3 seasons? We love first 3 seasons comparisons, especially when they look like this. That is wild.
The touchdowns. My goodness. He's a machine, Jason. You nailed it. Home run threat every single play. And you never know when it's going to happen. And that's why I think as an offensive lineman, it gives you that much more motivation, because you'll hear certain play calls and you're saying, okay, if we get the right defense, man, this could be a big one. But you just never know when it's going to happen. Because Jahmyr Gibbs literally could happen every single play. It doesn't matter if it's outside zone, a toss, a screen, a trap, a wham play with him hitting the line of scrimmage at full speed. You know, if you just cover that guy up, if you cover the guy up in front of you for a split second, if you can get to the secondary, if you can get that second level, the linebackers. And also, you got to factor in the receivers too. I know the receivers here, Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you watch him block during some run plays, it is so impressive to see the skill that he has, the motivation that he has. There's a lot. Look, there's a lot of star receivers in this league that don't really want much to do with blocking guys or digging guys out or digging safeties out of a hole. Amon-Ra is the complete opposite.
Or don't care about the details as much as he does, which is through the roof, as McCaffrey is back to receive on a fair catch. It's a 36-yard punt for Jack Fox, and Washington is pinned back.
Luke McCaffrey. You say I played with Max McCaffrey.
Well, I had said Max.
So many McCaffrey. You said there's so many McCaffrey skills guys. It was Max McCaffrey, but Luke McCaffrey himself is a heck of a player.
You'll still get an invite to the reunion. The starters did play the first quarter, as Sam Hartman will be under center at the steering wheel for Washington to hand to Craig Reynolds. And what do you know? It's another penalty marker.
2 of them. I think they both saw the same thing. It's normally in the area.
Holding on the offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
3 for 3.
First down.
Penalty Prince today. Downstairs, Patty.
Thanks, Jason. Edge rusher Eric O'Neal actually almost quit football after his freshman year at Long Island University. He redshirted, so he wasn't seeing the field. School wasn't going very well either. And then it was a big turning point for him, where the new staff offered to pay for his summer school and let him stay on this team. He said it is something he thinks about a lot, but sees it as a positive.
Then he transferred to Rutgers and had a marvelous career. He was a tackle for loss specialist. Off the penalty, Hartman on the roll. He'll go sideline ball, and he's got it away to Jacoby Jones. You know, O'Neal, he's a Staten Island kid, 23-year-old rookie. He had a pick 6 in practice earlier this week.
Monday night, Monday night they ran a pretty exaggerated scrimmage, a lot of different situations, and Eric O'Neal was really one name that, I don't care who you follow that covers the Detroit Lions, everybody was talking about the practice that he had, and had a good game against Cincinnati again last week. I know he's looking to add to it again today here in the 4th quarter.
Jacoby Jones on the outside is bucked out of bounds by Roger McCreary. There is O'Neal's rep.
He's pretty savvy. I know if you look at him, you say he doesn't look like a big guy, but he's just watching him in practice. And last week against Cincinnati, a couple of those snaps, just his hand usage to me stood out. How can he create some separation from that offensive tackle, or maybe a tight end if it's a run play? Going to keep an eye on him here, standing up on the outside, closer to a screen, number 66.
They'll run his direction. He got a hand on Reynolds, who bounces to the outside. And he forced the play to the fringe, and it's 3rd down as Rakestraw took him out.
It's fine. I don't know if he was held here. Just a little quick inside move. Right tackle kind of gets around. Yeah, it kind of yanks. It kind of torques the body a little bit, even though it still had a chance. But anytime you, as a defensive lineman, you can get in the backfield and create disruption, even if you don't make the tackle, you're still buying an extra second for all your buddies to come up and support and help bring the ball carrier down as well. So still a good rep, even though he's not going to get credit for the tackle.
That's probably a first down if he doesn't get a hand on Reynolds. This run is bottled up. It is O'Neal this time. He bursts through, and it's no gain.
Yeah. Take a look at the get off. It's third down. Watch him lined up over the tight ends. You're not going to block me. Little inside rip, gets in the backfield. Good time for us to start talking about Eric O'Neal, huh? A couple of really nice plays in a row. Those are the things that not only your coaches, the evaluators are going to notice, but your teammates notice. Can I trust this guy to go out there and make a play in a big-time situation?
He and Hassanin together there. 4th down and 2. Crowd as loud as it's been all day. It's a long 2, more like 3. Hartman, Reynolds wheeling out. It's incomplete.
And who with the pressure?
Eric O'Neal got a hand on the arm and forced the turnover on downs. What a play, what a drive.
Oh, my goodness. 3 plays in a row. 66, Eric O'Neal. Not a sexy number for a defensive end, but if you can go make some plays like that, coming off the edge, 4th down, got to have it. Chop, rip, get to the quarterback. There you go, effect the throw. These guys talking to Panay Sewell saying, can you believe you're in year 6 already? He's like, man, just flies.
Wild what he's done. Altmaier has to try to break away, and he goes down, sacked by Hurst. That's his 2nd sack. A little chippiness with Williams at the end of the play, but a sack for Hurst.
Yeah, just a blown assignment. There's not one play in the playbook, whether it's run or play action, where you just let the defensive tackle go. So I'm not going to put blame on any individual. Just the communication has to clean up front. You cannot have those free runners in the backfield. If you're going to get beat, you call it die a slow death, right? At least get beat late. Anytime a defensive tackle gets in the backfield that fast, that's a miscommunication.
That is the 5th sack for Washington. Altmaier with time. That time, Malik Cunningham out of Louisville with the catch to set up a 3rd down and 3. Just sat down right in the middle of the field and picked up 16.
A nice job by Luke Altmaier that time. It's buying a little bit of extra time. Good job with the protection, and just a really nice route there by Malik Cunningham, finding that open zone in the zone coverage and sitting down, finding that soft area to give your quarterback a big target. Sets up after a sack, which could be devastating a lot of times, sets up a 3rd and 3 here. So really nice job between Altmaier and Cunningham.
Lions have been great on 3rd down, over 60% for the day. Altmaier bailing and throwing it incomplete. He wanted Meeks again, who's been a favorite target of his. Altmaier ended up on the ground. You gonna play it like you would in the regular season? You're gonna kick it? You're gonna go for it? What do you got?
I think I would go for it, because you want to put these players in as many stressful positions as you possibly can. High pressure spots, right? Now I know that we're looking at, hey, you're leading by 1. There's still 5 minutes left, but in your head as a player, maybe you say, hey, pretend like this is 10 seconds left and it's a 4th down. I got to go find a way to make a play. First thing I'm thinking, though, is hard count. Let's see if we can get Washington offsides.
The motion, love it. Altmaier rolling. Altmaier buying time. He's got a 1st down. It is Meeks out of bounds, and the Lions move the sticks.
Try to find a way to keep your eyes downfield and get some pocket movement and get to the edge. Deliver a 1st down. Keep this drive going. That's a big-time play from Altmaier. Make a play. Make a play.
It took 54 minutes for the first 4th down attempt for the Lions in this second preseason game. We have a marker in, which also may set a record.
I think it looked like Washington was lined up in the neutral zone. See if I can get another one right.
Defense offside. Number 60, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
SMU.
1st down.
Hey, stick around for the Cure Auto Insurance post-game show. We will hear from some of the principals after the game, as the Lions are hoping to pick up their 1st win of this preseason.
And you're in a good position to do it right now. 1st and 5, just knocking on the door of the red zone. I think if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm telling my offensive line, we're going to run the football for probably the next 2 or 3 plays. Give these guys some room, get some movement. Let's see if we can really start to impose our will a little bit.
Behind a mix and match offensive line here in the 4th quarter. It is a run down to the 17 for Travion Williams. Luke Altmaier at Illinois last year had 4 game-winning drives in the final minute. That was the most in the nation for a cardiac Illini team, and the Lions are now behind Altmaier in the Heinz red zone. Now that is a great sponsorship, by the way. That is like a perfect marriage.
You the ketchup guy?
Yeah.
Red?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you do. I
do like red ketchup. Yes.
Well, Heinz makes other condiments, I think.
2nd down and 2. It's a run for Williams, and he will lean forward, try and get back to the line of scrimmage. They do. They do. I just wanted to be clear.
Ketchup is
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Just trying to get an NIL deal. TJ, you know where this is going.
Hey, milk it as long as you can, man. Look at Drew Petzing. Look at that shiny haircut, by the way. Solid.
He got his first coaching job because a friend of a friend, like a family friend, made a phone call for him. And he ended up working at Harvard for his first job. He was at Yale a couple years later, got his way into the NFL, and is just everywhere he's been known as a grinder, a hard worker, as the Commanders get a stop here. Yeah. But you said it, the tight end room with what Trey McBride did in Arizona will be fascinating to watch as this develops.
And he's got a lot of weapons. Obviously, we spoke on Sam Laporta. Brock Wright is really starting to come along. Well known for what he does in the run game, but man, every game he'll kind of surprise you with a couple catches and run after the catch. Right, Tyler Conklin, another guy that they signed, who's a very experienced tight end. But it gives you multiplicity. You don't have to necessarily be an 11 personnel team or a 12 personnel team. Hey, let's go 13. Let's go put 4 tight ends on the field sometimes. And if you can have these guys that can line up out wide, line up inside, you can really start to mess with that defense. I'm super excited to see the creativity that Drew Petzing can bring to this offense.
It is kids takeover day here at Ford Field, and so Drew Petzing's kids got a chance to take over Ford Field. Oh,
that's awesome.
That is cutest video of the day.
Here you go.
By the way,
hit that. Get him right in the chest.
Oh, down he goes.
There you go.
It's a sack.
There you go. That's awesome. That's what it's about. These coaches work so hard, man. You're gone 18, 20 hours a day, especially during training camp. Anytime you get to spend some time with the family, bring the kids out, show them what you do. Man, it kind of reminds you of why you do all this in the first place. That's so cool to see Drew and his kids out there, and I'm sure a lot of other coaches and players getting to spend time with their family today as well.
That is the first official sack for Emilia on Dad.
Textbook.
Field goal is good for Jake Bates, and the Lions have put up 17 in this game 2 in the preseason. 2:26 to go in this one. The Lions will have to get one more stop to finish the deal as we take a look at our play of the game, brought to you by McDonald's. It's the explosiveness of Josh Dobbs. But did you know, and this is a prize for sticking around. Ball is down on the deck. Nobody's got a hand on it, and let's see who's got it. Washington at the bottom of the pile. We will see. There's still a fight for it. Chris Barnes, it looked like, had a chance at it for Washington at first. They'll unpack the pile.
I think it was Jackson Meeks who had the first initial shot on the returner. That popped it loose. Oh, they're going to give it to Washington, but man, that's a great rep by Jackson Meeks attacking that football. That's what Dan Campbell wants to see, not only from his defense, but the special teams as well. Go punch at that thing. Get it out. What do we got?
The Lions have it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Meeks gunning down there to make the play. And then all bets are off.
Yeah. Good luck at the bottom of that pile, Jason.
Well, Eric Hunter was the guy who came away with the prize. The rookie out of Morgan State.
You got to do what you got to do at the bottom of the pile to get that football.
Special signal for Washington, TJ, and then the Lions come up with it. Downstairs, Patty on Hunter.
He's really been leaning on Trevor Nowatzki since coming to the Lions from Morgan State, because Nowatzki was in a similar situation. He came from a smaller school, Saginaw Valley State, and then broke in to the NFL. And Hunter told me he's been a great role model and a great influence, and he keeps my head up on days where it's not as high.
That is a great relationship. Eric Hunter, by the way, was a state title winner in the 400-meter. Very athletic guy in high school coming out of the state of Maryland.
Taking a timeout.
Yeah, 2:08 in the timeout for Washington. They're going to try and get the ball back. Patty, what else do you have on Hunter?
Well, a fun fact is that he can play 5 different instruments: the stand-up bass, piano, and 3 drumline instruments. And his relationship with music really started with him and his dad. They would rap together. And